Hey, I'm Kaz, the channel for the higher light.
And I'm Sally, your energetic guide and card reader.
This is the Quantum Thread.
A space to demystify energy, explore consciousness, and empower you to trust your inner truth. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Quantum Thread. And welcome back, Kaz. This is episode 14. Can you believe it?
Episode 14. What a wonderful way to end this year. What a year it's been, a year of change.
It has been a year of change, and it is a beautiful way to end. Yes, it has been a year. It's been a year that unfolded differently to how I thought it would play out. But in a way, it has been the year of the snake, if you follow along those lines. But just shedding and clearing and endings, it's a 9 year. So it's conclusions. And along with that, change happens when you do things differently, but you've got to close one door to open another. And I think there have been a lot of learnings for everyone this year. I believe it's unfolded very differently to how I thought it would be. How about you?
I have actually been looking at it a different way and seeing the patterns within myself that have changed and the patterns within others that have changed,
Mhm.
and how all those old things and the change that's transpired have created so much newness
Mm.
ready to take hold. So people are learning, people are looking from a higher perspective with all that old skin shed, as you put it, with the snake. Um, things are changing quickly.
Yeah, they definitely are. I really like that the analogy that you brought through the other week about we're climbing a ladder and each rung is a timeline. And to get to the next step, you've got to let go of your other where you've been hanging on to move up. And that's part of our
Yeah,
conscious awakening, and it's part of our evolution and part of our expansion. And I think this has been a year of massive awareness, massive expansion, just in line with what you said, you know, creating the newness, new ways of thinking. And I think this podcast has been very helpful in introducing us to new ways of thinking, like retraining and relearning, going back to kindergarten, back to basics.
yeah,
It, in many ways, it's been validating, but also eye opening and new ways of thinking. And I found it very powerful myself.
yeah. Me too. And I think on that ladder of timelines, I think it's really important for people to understand that they can keep breathing as they change timelines.
Yeah.
They do have time to linger, time to rest, time to just be with the energies. It's
Mm,
not a race up that ladder. No one's getting there first. We're all going at our own pace, and we're all getting there in our own time.
mm,
Sometimes, then with the quickening that's happening, we can forget that time is our actual friend, and
mm,
we can pull back on time and say, hey,
mm,
I'm going to take this time and use it for my inner world.
mm,
So then you're not filling yourself with overwhelm.
mm. I love that. Take time for your inner world. It was interesting. I've got my daughter staying with me, and she had to get up and go for a walk because she said, otherwise, I just get bored. And I said, there's nothing wrong with being bored. It's actually embracing being in that moment. And, when you're very much in your head, it's just like, oh, I should be doing, I should, and stop shoulding all over yourself and allowing yourself to just be in that moment. And this is what we were talking about recently. I think you call scrying, but just like watching the clouds for 60 seconds, just being in that energy of the moment. And I've got to say, I've found it very calming, soothing, and rejuvenating because it's resting. And particularly at our age with the whole menopausal thing and the cortisol, just allowing the nervous system to rest, rest and digest for the parasympathetic nervous system and not being on the go all the time. Our bodies actually need more than ever at our age group to rest, to cut back, to stop the heavy do. Even with the weights, I know, that's my jam is working out. But I've peeled it right back. Less of the heavy weights, less workout time, and I do it every day, walking or whatever, but also the weights. But I just go, this is crazy. I was reflecting this week. I pulled it right back, and it's just listening to the energy within, not pushing myself. And I know you go and rest when you need to rest. We often talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the call of boredom is typically a call for stillness. It's a time to self-reflect, a time to see what you can let go of, a time to see what you want to pull into your life. You know, it's about taking that time. Yes, exercise and all of that stuff is so good for you to, get out there and get far. But it's also vitally important to get slow, to get still, and to get back to your center. Because without that, all that fastness is just going to lead you to breakdown. So it's truly important to come back to your center and reassess. Life can get out of control so easily.
Yeah.
So taking the time to monitor where you are, monitoring where other people are trying to pull you in different directions, and knowing where you stand, having that time with yourself to know, hey, I'm here. I don't want to go there. Staying here, I'm going this way. You can come with me or you can go your own way. But knowing where you are, knowing where you're going, and not letting all those weights pull you in opposite directions.
Love that. And it's interesting because next year is the year of the horse. So it's about galloping forward. It's about being fast. And
yes,
yeah, like you just said, the fastness will lead to breakdown. So unless you know exactly what you said, you know where you are, you know where you're going, and staying in that center point. So like we were talking about last week, like you can be on a boat in the roughest seas, but you're just going with it. You're not panicking, you're not sinking. It's not the SOS with help. You're not sinking. You're just
that's right.
allowing yourself to be guided and just sit in that center and go, and have the trust and the faith. I think that's also something that's come through this year, is just have trust, have faith.
Yeah.
And I think
even you said about the year of the horse coming up, but I mean, even the best of the best racehorse still goes out to pasture, still has that time in pasture. It's not all about that race day. It's not all about winning. It's not all about losing and achieving. It's about grazing as well.
You are so spot on. Many years ago, I a part owner in a racehorse, and it opened my eyes because exactly what you say, they'll have a small period of doing races. It might be 4 or 5, and then they'll have 3 months just back out in the paddock, and then they'll do it again. And it's just like, oh, it's only a small time that they're actually on doing the heavy stuff, and then most of the time they're doing the motions, the training, the grazing, the whatever, and they're brought back out. So I think that's an important, point for us to take as we're doing this transition over this period around the Christmas time, is allowing ourselves to rest and realize we don't need to be on all the time, learning that year so that we don't get caught up in it, in that rush bubble.
Yeah. I mean, our ancestors, so you go back to caveman times, but even only a few generations back, that adrenaline, all that fastness was used to get us through a moment in time that we needed all that extra hormones.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time, we were relaxed. We were happy, we were laughing, we were carefree. Now, these days, we tend to be encouraged to use all those hormones to keep us going, to push us all day, every day, and it's just not working. You look all over the world and it's broken. And this is why it's broken, because we're not taking the time to graze out in pasture.
You're right. It's the caveman times, with that being protecting and having the fight and flight in case you saw a tiger or whatever. And that's adrenal fatigue now, because we're always on. The nervous always heightened. And
we're living with a tiger chasing us 24/7. And it's just not plausible.
It's true. It is true. So, this podcast today is about sort of reflecting on the year, but also preparing ourselves for next year. And there's guidance not to get into that, in the tiger mode 24/7, but allow yourself to realize that you're like a racehorse. You can be on for a small amount of time, but then you're out in pasture a lot more of the time, and realizing that we don't have to be on all the time. So do you think it might be a good time for you to through the golden group? I just love this. So let's just taking a moment. Yes, I'll have a little moment too. So always the golden group provide these beautiful insights, and this, especially the mothers, they're so mothering and nurturing with their, let's not say advice, but their insights and guidance as to how to move forward. So Kaz is just getting in, connecting in. To get yourself settled, relax. Let's see what comes through.
Welcome, and welcome, dear ones, to this beautiful energy, this creative force that assists you to climb the ladder of your own ascension. Let us look at the changes that will transpire in time for the current year. This will be the year 2026, where you will be learning to use time more effectively. Your bodily being, your hormonal system, your nervous system, they are all running on high. And it is a learning shift. There is no gear shift. You cannot put yourself in first, in second, into third. The body has been trained, and it's now time to untrain your body, to reteach it the basics, kindergarten level of relaxation, taking your 15-minute nap twice a day, helping you to come back to who you truly are, to relax, to switch off not just your devices, the busyness within your mind, the busyness within all of your bodily systems, allowing them peace, giving yourself peace. Peace was never meant to be only dished out of a Sunday. Peace is a part of your everyday. Peace is a vital part of who you are as a human. When did you learn to let go of peace and allow yourself to fall face forward into chaos? It is not your fault that this has happened. It is not your responsibility, but it is your responsibility to come back to your being, come back into peace, to walk toward it, to live within it. Anything that disturbs your peace continuously needs to be removed completely. Peace is far too important. As the world quickens, you all learn to take in more light and relieve yourselves of the chemical cocktails that you sometimes eat. Peace will be far easier for you to live in constant awareness. You can attempt to reconcile with that which is creating rifts in your environment. When things are not changing for you in your inner world, then things must change in your outer world. The two are always connected, one and the same. You are everything. And you are constantly showing yourself who you want to be and what you want to attract toward you. Now is the time to set yourself free of anything that lets you down. And do you have any questions, dear one?
Thank you so much. So it sounds as though 2026 might be a little bit more perceived chaos or hectic around us, because the messages seem to be more and more to step into that inner peace state and let go of the everything. We were chatting just before, saying 2025 has been very much a lot of learnings and lessons, but the sense of the energy 2026 is, it sounds like the quickening is quickening, and possibly more perceived chaos around us. Would that be sort of the vibe for next year?
As the energies brighten and more light is being brought into the planet, chaos, the darkness is sure to be disturbed. This is the act, the art of healing. Darkness must come to the light. But that does not mean that you are required to interact with it. Send it peace from your peaceful state of mind. Offer it love from within the boundaries of your being. Yes, things become more chaotic and more peaceful at the same time. And the peace can only get stronger and stronger. It is the peace that has won the future. And so it is only wise of you to step into the peace. Now, do you have another question?
Thank you so much, because I think that is all about preparing for next year, and you just keep climbing the ladder and letting go of the rungs below, hey? And it's just, as you say, retraining and relearning to step back into that peace and not engaging in the chaos. And I think the more we can keep practicing and relearning and retraining our brains to not engage and step into the peace. And this is where you're helping provide lots of tips and insights on how to do it, because saying it and doing it sometimes can be two different worlds.
Yes. As we said, peace is a learning, a relearning, going back to teaching oneself the art of relaxation, allowing the endocrine system to switch off from time to time, the nervous system, let it turn off. There's constant communication between the nervous system and the endocrine system creates a flow of chemicals. The being does not need 24 hours a day. The being is not created to tolerate so much, so many of its systems being turned on so often for so long. It is time to teach your inner being to relax.
Very wise words. Well, exciting times. So I just want to say thank you for joining us for this year and helping us sort of navigate this dimensional shift, which is what this podcast is all about. It sounds as though we're
Thank you.
looking forward to.
We love you. We bless you.
Thank you. Wow. So there we go. The Kaz is just taking a moment to come back. We'll just give her a moment. But so the final parting words were, it is time to teach your inner being to relax. And I think that's just positioning us for next year. Oh, just take a moment, Kaz. That was really insightful once again. How are you feeling? Man. Ooh, I know you get snippets when you're channeling, but it's 2026 is just going to keep us on our toes, and we're really going to, like I was just repeating the last line, it is time to teach your inner being to relax. And
yes,
teaching
it's
us
no easy process.
No, not at all.
Not in this day and age.
That's right. And that was the, what we were talking about before, the illusion that, we always have to be on and we don't. And, some of the lines, we weren't created to tolerate so much of that on the energy, that nervous system, endocrine and chemical flow. We weren't created that way. So
that's right.
We're trying to teach ourselves how to fully relax, like relearn, because we've only learned it from a mental way, but actually embodying that and allowing our energy to relax and reboot, but actually doing it from a different perspective rather than a mental tick the box, I've done that. It's being in a more relaxed state more often, like we were saying with the horse out the pasture, and just being on for a smaller bit and relearning and retraining the way we spend our 24/7,
Yeah.
more wisely. So
and health wise, relaxation improves your health no end. But let's up the cards.
Oh yes, of course. I just get so caught up. And just, thank you so much this year for your channels and for allowing yourself to share with the audience all of this. It's just, I'm just got all the decks. I'm just going to cut and then shuffle this one. Let's see what comes up, because it's just been very helpful, and even just now to see help us prepare for next year. So it says, this one came up the other day, thoughts are powerful. And so what you think you become, your thoughts are powerful and can make or break you. So think positive, empowering thoughts, especially about yourself. I think this is really important as next year, we enter into next year with more illusion of chaos, more like, what was the line there? You have to go, there's going to be more, as there's more light, there's going to be more dark, because you're going through to come out. And
because the light disturbs the darkness, and the darkness
rattles it.
Is being healed, and in order to be healed, it must be heard.
Yeah. And so as we go through that, what story are you putting in your head about yourself? What energy are you fueling your cells with? And then what words are you bringing out? Because what you think you become. So with everything else going around, the doubt within yourself, which is the dark coming up. I'm not worthy. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. We've got to not allow that energy to start filling up, dialing. We all have it. We've got the inner critic and the inner coach, but not with everything going on, not giving up, realizing that the support around us, that we have the power within us. And I think if we can more powerfully connect with that, the power of the energy that we hold and the creation energy that we can use to manifest and materialize what we're choosing, and disconnect from the distractions, the noise, the heaviness, and allow ourselves to be shifted up, to keep climbing up, but letting go, keep climbing up, letting go as we climb up to the higher rung. It's just going to allow us to ascend, but also step into the peace more and realize that we're out to pasture most of the time and we're only on now and again. And I think that's the relearning, retraining, because we've never been brought up like that. It's a 24/7 world, as we say, since, particularly with the online introduction, there is no off time.
Yeah.
The illusion
Yeah.
of time.
You've really got to be careful what race you actually run in. You don't need to run in them all.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
You really don't need to.
yeah, I love that. Careful what race you run in. Well, Kaz, it's been, I can only say from my point of view, just amazing to spend some time with you, allowing you to share your gifts with us and allow the Golden Group through.
And you too. Thank you. I think we'll be back mid-January or toward the end of January, and I'm looking forward to a full year of creating these because they're amazing. Hopefully by January I'll have my tooth back or a new one, and I won't be so self-conscious, but
Yeah,
bring on the new year.
absolutely. And our new workshops too, the Mind Your Space workshops. They're just
Yes,
looking forward to that. So,
absolutely.
and in the meantime, reach out for any support. We put in our info with these, and get a private channel with Kaz or some support. We're all there to help as we go through this.
Yeah.
Help you step into the peace and out of the chaos.
Yeah. Quiana Scribe creations.com.au.
Perfect. And you can find me at sallyeslin.com. So without further ado, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kaz. Reach out.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all in the new year. Bye.
Bye. Happy holidays.
That's it for this episode of The Quantum Thread.
If you have questions you'd like answered by the channel or topics you want us to explore, reach out anytime.
You can connect with Kaz for private channel sessions or with either of us for support on your journey.
Until next time, keep tuning in, trusting yourself, and following your inner thread.